So welcome everybody to the Kern County Breastfeeding Coalition. This is our fourth meeting, and I'd like to just go around and us to share our first name, our title, or our names, our title, and just something that you'd find like a win or a challenge that you experienced either this week, this month, this year. So my name is Jasmine Mendez. I'm the WIC Regional Breastfeeding Liaison, and I represent both CAPK and Clinica Sierra Vista WIC agencies. And the win for me this year has been being part of the Central Valley Lactation Conference planning committee. It's been really interesting to be behind the scenes and putting together this conference along with other professionals all throughout, so the Central Valley. So if you guys are signed up to go, I'll see you there. If not, I'll bring back the resources and share with you guys that aren't able to make it. So I'll go ahead and go down. I'll pass it over to Janet,
who has to remember to unmute herself. So I'm Janet Barrett. I'm lactation at Kern Medical. And I've had two wins this year. One is that our breastfeeding rates have gone from being the bottom of Kern County to, by a little squeak, the top of Kern County, which is huge for us and our population. And then on the personal win, I went home in March for the first time in 15 years and was with my mum for both her 90th birthday and Mother's Day. And I will pass it on to Melissa Lopez.
Hello. Yeah, this it comes up as Melissa Lopez. That's my maiden name. It's Melissa Flores. If you're wanting to find me. So I am excited to present. I kind of will say a little bit more about myself later on. I am a birth doula, lactation counselor, and childbirth educator here in Kern County. Owner and founder of Green Birth, which I'll explain to you guys all later. A win, I have a 1.5-year-old. She's my fourth baby, and nursing is going well. So that's a win. 4 babies. And so this last one is, you forgot we had about an age-year gap between our last baby. And I forgot how time-consuming breastfeeding can be. So yay.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And let's go ahead and pass it over to Leslie Bloomquist.
Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Bloomquist. I am a women's healthcare nurse practitioner and an IBCLC, retired as a nurse practitioner, and most recently retired from Kaiser Permanente. And I am a volunteer at Baby Cafe Bakersfield, and taking call and going to those meetings. And then also a member of CVLA, the Central Valley Lactation Association. And I truthfully can't think of a professional win this year. Truthfully, I'm still alive. I'm walking around. And apparently I can smile. I can see myself smiling. So that's probably my professional win. It's been a really tough year since Thanksgiving for me. My mom fell and broke her hip, and it's been a hugely complicated, time-consuming black hole since then. Personal, my daughter is visiting from Montana, and she is pregnant with her first baby that's gotten this far. And she's 18 weeks, and so we're all pretty excited about that. And oh, I need to pick somebody. Let's go with Javier.
Yes, my name is Javier. I'm the EDD Service Branch. I'm part of the MW, which is the Migrant Seasonal and Farm Workers Outreach Program. I guess a win for me would be being in this role, having the opportunity because I come from family that works out in the agriculture. So I take it to heart to this program because it gives me a lot of knowledge and information that I'm able to educate the people who work out in the ag, but also my family, who sometimes they need information with, for example, like labor laws, and also a couple. Starting this year, there was a $600 that was given for essential workers who worked during the pandemic from 2020 to 2023. So I was able to guide them, and that way they can tell also their workers with that. So that's something that I like about my job. And then we'll talk more about other stuff, that other state programs as well, with my colleague Catalina. And with that being said, I'll hand it over to my partner, my colleague Catalina.
Thank you, Javier. And I know that you're probably out there in the fields, handing out, the supportive services that, we provide. So my name is Catalina Lemus Carrera. I also work for EDD. I'm an outreach worker. And a personal win for me would be, I am a graduate student at Sacramento State University. And I think as a graduate student, you have to, be consistently writing. So a personal win for that is I finished my research design, and hopefully, it goes on to, I finished IRB application too. So hopefully, it gets approved because I am using human subjects. So I'm glad I'm done with that. And the next person, Gladys Garcia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gladys, and I'm our maternal child coordinator at Bakersfield Memorial Hospital. I think a professional win for me is when being able to be in this role and being able to support new mamas, recurring mamas with their second, third, fourth, fifth child, being able to provide them with different resources. I know, I think it was last month we attended a maternal child symposium, which was really beneficial with a lot of different information about mental health, and that was really amazing to hear. And I'll pass it off to Mary.
Good afternoon. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Sometimes my AirPods work, sometimes they don't. My name is Mary Switowski. Jasmine invited me. I work with the Department of Human Services with pregnant and parenting teenagers. My professional win this year would be that we received a couple of grants this year through Dignity Health and the Women and Girls Fund to coordinate groups for our young teens that are parenting, trying to build a community of parenting youth. And it's really, we're done with the grants and we're still meeting. The girls are still wanting to meet, and it's going very, very well. And part of that, Jasmine saw my group on the Department of Human Services website or Instagram page, right? It was Instagram, right, Jasmine? And so she invited me here to hear about all the wonderful things that you guys are doing, so I can get some resources for these parenting teams. We work with girls, 14 and up, so breastfeeding really isn't something that they're, they have that youth barrier happening, not only a cultural barrier like was mentioned earlier, but so I'm very excited to be invited, and happy to hear about any resources that we could introduce to our parenting teams within the department. And a personal win, not this year, but within the last 12 months, I did travel to Italy, and I got to see Pope Francis in the flesh. Like, he was so close to me. Anyway, so that was definitely a personal win. So thank you for the invitation.
You are very welcome, Mary, and thank you so much again for joining us. And lastly, but not least, oh wait, we have one more after you, but Lori, the floor is yours.
Hi, this is Lori from Windy Ridgecrest today. And a win for me is that I was able to open my business on March 15th. And I have been able to help 3 women so far, and another is hopefully coming in soon. So the biggest challenge for me is I think still adjusting to being in private practice and not being in a hospital setting. And I also just want to shout out to Janet and her hard work at KMC and being first in Kern County. I won't be sad about that, Janet. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, you've been in from the beginning, Laurie, and many years we've traded information, and you were at the top of Kern County and I was at the bottom. So
Yes, yes.
it's been
No,
great.
congratulations. That's
Thank
one.
you. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Lori, for sharing that and your very kind words towards Janet. I want to go ahead and pass it over to Banya. The floor is yours. Sorry, Banya, we are introducing our name, introducing ourselves, our name, title, and then a win or a challenge, either personal or professional.
Alrighty, so hi, my name is Bonnie. I'm here with Kern Health Systems. I'm one of the health education specialists. And I would say, let's see, a win. Good question. Like I usually, these are pretty, I have probably quite a few, but I'll start off with maybe a challenge. I think with us now going back to doing like in-person classes, so just managing like, the schedule with transitioning from, doing virtual to in-person. So kind of going through with that, with home life and then work life as well. I have 3 little ones, so kind of just managing with that. I feel like now it'll be a challenge, especially because they are starting sports and stuff, and I'm used to being there and kind of, making it work and having that flexibility. So I think that's kind of been, or most likely will be a challenge. And I guess a win would be that my son, he receives early intervention services for a hearing impairment, and he's doing great. So he's he's age appropriate for his speech, and he's just been improving. He's been definitely surprising all of us because we did think there was going to be a significant delay there, but yeah, he's been doing great. He's been doing the program for about 2 years now. He's 2.5, so I guess that would be a great one for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Banya, and congratulations to your son. That's amazing. I used to work with special needs, so that's where my heart goes with. Thank you again for sharing.
Thank you.
I want to go ahead and turn it over to Miss Melissa Flores, and I'll make you host, so you can go ahead and share your PowerPoint.
Okay, let's see here. Do I click on screen share?
Correct, yes.
Let's try that. Do you know which one I click on after that?
So it should give you a few options, and
Yep.
then click on the one where your presentation slides are on.
Oh no. Do I just, maybe if I just click desktop?
Yes.
Let's try. Okay. Okay, did it work?
No, maybe it takes a little bit.
Okay, let's see here.
And if you like, we can always revisit this if you want to send them over to me. And then, or if you want to, so I could share it, however,
Yeah, let me see. I think, did it work now?
no, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, why don't I send it over to you? I don't know why it's not letting me on my end, but I'll send it over to you. And do you want to maybe do the other presentation first?
For sure. Yeah, no worries. Technology, it's unpredictable.
Yeah, let me send it over.
Perfect. Oh, do you mind making me host real quick?
What was that?
Could you make me host, please?
Oh, okay. How do I do that?
So you go to participants,
Okay.
and then go ahead and go to my name, and then there's 3 dots, and then it should give you the option to make host.
3 dots. Invite more. Join. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't see it.
No worries. Do you see the 3 dots right next to my name?
Let's see here.
It
No,
has-
it's your name. No, I clicked on it and then it just lets me message you, but it doesn't.
Oh.
The other way I did it, Melissa, to make Jasmine host is when you see the picture, the screen where all of our pictures are on the
Yeah.
main screen.
Uh-huh.
If you go to the top right hand, you'll see the 3 dots there.
Yes, thank
If you
you.
click on that and come down, it'll have a make host about halfway down.
Thank you. That was it.
Thank you so much, Janet, for that. Alrighty, thank you. Here we are. Can you guys see my screen? Thumbs up? Yep. Good deal. Miss Catalina Javier, the floor is yours. Go ahead when you're ready.
And then do we just ask you to just click on the next whenever we're ready, or? Okay,
Correct.
can you just before that, click on the next one to see if you have that option to view the video? I just wanna, I think you have to go back and then click on it again, or maybe click on his picture. Yeah.
Let me see here.
There we go. Oh, okay, now it works. Awesome. You could,
And then-
yeah, you could stop it. I
Perfect.
just wanted to see if it was gonna work or not.
Good deal.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. And I'll just give you an indication to go to the next slide. So my name is Catalina Lemus Carrera, and then I have Javier Jimenez, my colleague, who will be answering questions at the end. I will be conducting this presentation. So we work for the Employment Development Department. A lot of people get confused. So we actually work for the Workforce Service Branch. There's various branches within EDD. There's the unemployment branch, the disability branch, the paid family leave branch, the tax branch, and then there's a workforce service branch. So we actually work for that branch, but we also provide other services within EDD, because again, we all have to work together to assist, that customer. We can go on to the next slide. Okay, and then I'm going to share a video with you guys. Javier's actually in this video. It's just like a small, and I'll let you know when to pause it. So we're only going to view it for a minute. So go ahead. I don't know if, could you guys hear it?
Okay, I'm gonna play it and let me know if you guys can hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Nation's agricultural production. Those agricultural.
We can hear it. Jasmine, I don't think we could hear the video. I was hearing it before, and I don't know why. I heard it at first too.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna go ahead and share again, and then maybe
Yeah.
the audio.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, technology, man, it's super unpredictable.
Jasmine, did you
Yeah.
share your volume over on the right-hand side?
Good
Do you allow
question.
sound? Because I have to do that when I do my classes.
Okay.
So as well as share screen, when you go back up to the main control at the top, if you go over to the right, and I forget what's over there right now, but if you scroll down there, it has a share sound.
Yeah, okay, I just checked it, so I'm gonna see, let me see if you guys can hear it now.
California has often been
Yes,
referred
I
to
can hear
as
you.
America's breadbasket.
Do you want me to go ahead and start it from the beginning, or?
Yes, if you can, please. Thank you.
Of course, of course.
California has often been referred to as America's breadbasket, thanks to the state having so much of the nation's agricultural production. Those agricultural products, though, don't grow and pick themselves. That's where the state's farm workers come into play. Farm workers like Pedro Antonio, who has a hand in the cultivation of a number of crops. We used to work the onions, the garlic, and broccoli, the peaches, nectarines, everything, a little bit of everything. That work, however, is not exactly year-round. From when the season starts in April, thinning, then comes picking, the grapes also, and then until it all ends in November, December. In fact, for many of the state's farm workers, employment is not a year-round thing.
It starts out in April, and then I end it in September.
That's where the EDD and its partners, such as Proteus Inc. in the Tulare County town of London, step in, helping farm workers not just with finding opportunities through the EDD's cow job services, but with benefits as well.
We are able to assist them with unemployment insurance, state disability insurance, as well as paid family leave.
It's assistance that many of California's farm workers find invaluable.
You can stop right there, Jasmine.
Because if we have any questions, they answer the questions.
And you can go on to the
It has
next.
often been referred to as America's breadbasket.
Okay, so I was just, wanting to share that video of Javier, going out there and just explaining what we do, what the state does for the farm workers. So Javier and I collaborate with community organizations and other state agencies to ensure that all job seekers receive equitable and timely services. We visit communities throughout Kern County to collaborate with local employers in the agricultural industry and farm workers in the community who are not being reached by normal means. So we contact workers in their place of employment, in their homes, or in other locations to provide information and employment resources, workers' rights, job referrals, and supportive services available throughout the EDD and its partners. So right now, everything that you guys are sharing throughout the breastfeeding coalition meeting, any type of resources that I hear from you guys, I go out and tell the community that as well. Okay, and then these two flyers right here, I'll be sharing those with you guys. I'll email Jasmine. I'll email Jasmine the flyers. They will be in English and in Spanish. So for this meeting specifically, since you guys are in the medical fields, we will be discussing paid family leave and then disability. So if we can go on to the next slide. So one of the requirements for paid family leave is you have to be unable to do your regular or customary work, have lost wages due to the need to provide care for a seriously ill family member, bond with a new child, so baby bonding, participate in a qualifying event resulting from family members' military deployment to a foreign country. For more, so it gives you more information about that. So, and then be employed or actively looking for work at the time your family leave begins. Have earned at least 300 from which state disability deductions were withheld during your base period. Complete and submit your application for no earlier than the first day your family leave begins, but no later than 41 days after your family leave begins, or you may lose those benefits. And then again, citizenship and immigration status does not affect this eligibility. So I always tell people when I do go out into the fields, specifically with paid family leave and disability, citizenship and immigration status does not affect. Unemployment, on the other hand, you do have to have work authorization, so you have to, be a resident or a citizen. You can go on to the next slide. So for disability, one of the requirements that you do need is you be unable to do your regular or customary work for at least 8 days, have lost wages because of your disability, be employed or actively looking for work at the time your disability begins, have earned at least 300 from which state disability insurance deductions were withheld during your base period, be under the primary care and treatment of a licensed physician practitioner or accredited religious practitioner within the first 8 days of your disability. The date your claim begins can be adjusted if it does not meet this requirement. You must remain under care and treatment to continue to receive benefits, and then complete and submit the claim for disability insurance. No earlier than 9 days after your first day of disability begins, but no later than 49 days, or you may lose benefits. So what a lot of farm workers, because again, they really don't know about these resources. Many of the women, that come into our community-based organizations, they don't know that, they can receive state disability when they're pregnant, and then go on and get, paid family leave afterwards. I've had so many, women come up to me and say, oh, I didn't know, you were able to get, disability. I just got the baby bonding. Because automatically, if you're on disability, they will send you a letter saying, you're able to get paid family leave. So this is what me and Javier do. Javier covers Bakersfield East. So he covers parts of Arvin, Lamont, the Arvin, Lamont area. And then I cover Delano, so Rich Grove, Alpag, Ducor, parts of Pixley, Lost Hills, Owasco, McFarland, and North of Shafter. So we're out there, going to our community-based organizations and then informing farm workers of EDD supportive services and other services as well. Okay, so if anybody has questions, unmute yourself and then we can go ahead and answer those questions for you.
Catalina, this is Leslie Blomquist, and I don't know that I am thinking right now about a thing of paid family leave for breastfeeding, but is it true that grandparents can get time off, not paid time off, but time off to care for their child, the person that had the baby?
So Javier, have you came across somebody that was, if it's a because we normally have the father that gets, baby bonding time. If it does say on the application, if that person, needs to be taken care of, because again, some mothers have cesarean section and they can't, take care of, the baby, or they need help. There is a section for caregivers or somebody that, is taking care of that person. But Javier, have you came across with anybody like that?
Yes. So an example that I can give to you would be there was a single mother. Obviously, father wasn't around. Her mom applied for paid family leave to help her daughter do the baby bonding, but the mom wouldn't file. Grandma in this case would not file for baby bonding. What she would be applying for is to take care of her daughter, assisting her. And just like how Catalina said, this lady ended up
I think the audio might have cut off.
Yeah.
sorry, it's my connectivity. So as I was saying, the grandma ended up applying for a paid family leave, not to help the baby bond, but to take care of her daughter. It's gonna be case by case, because I've seen situations where the doctor doesn't want to fill it out, but as long as you tell the doctor, there's nobody else to take care of her. I've seen it in most cases they do, and he will sign off on.
So did you understand that? So it's case by case, and they do, look into that, because we have ran across scenarios where there is, single mothers where, they can't, they need help. So there is a section in the application where, you can fill it out as, the care provider for, but yes, it's a case by case. And then again, we do have that direct line to talk to a representative. I've noticed, well, me and Javier, we're always running into scenarios where people just cannot reach an EDD rep, whether it's unemployment, disability, or paid family leave. Usually the wait time over the phone is hours. And we do have that Spock line where we can Spock the client, and you can ask, any type of question to a paid family leave representative or a DI or UI representative.
Thank you.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Catalina, because I've heard many cases where, like you mentioned, hours on the phone, or, you're not able to get a hold of anybody. So that's really neat that you have that connection. And any other questions? And if you do have questions, like as the other presenter is presenting, you can put them in the chat, and I can email them over to Catalina, and then get that get those answers for you if you don't have any questions as of right now. And then also Catalina is going to be emailing me those brochures with her contact information, Javier's. And Catalina, does the brochures have which regions you and Javier both cover?
Yes, so those brochures that we're going to be sharing, and another thing to add to that, it's going to show all of the community-based organizations that we're at throughout the week. I think Javier has 4, I have 5. And then in each location, we do have those applications, paid family leave, disability, and unemployment, because sometimes those applications are not available to the public. You have to request them, and it has to be mailed out.
Thank you for sharing that. So then all that information is going to go out to everybody after this meeting. And if there's no other questions, I believe, Melissa, you said you were able to get your PowerPoint up. Sorry, you're on mute.
I emailed it to you. Did you get it?
Yes, but it's not letting me open it.
Darn. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it says that you got it. Yeah, if you want to make me host again, I could try it again and see.
Okay, all yours.
Okay. Screen share, let's try it. Okay, did it work?
Not yet.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to work, but I mean, I could just do it without it, and then we can send the resources at the end of the meeting and everybody can have it. Does that work?
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, so what a bummer. Okay, that you guys don't get to see this, but I will, I'll just do it without it. Okay, so my name is Melissa. I had mentioned before, I'm a birth doula, lactation counselor, and childbirth educator. Does anyone not know what a doula is? I know that's a new word for some people.
Is it almost like a midwife? Kind of?
It is not. Yeah, that's the
okay.
first misconception that we get all the time is, we get moms that reach out and they're like, oh, well, I want to have a home birth, or I want to have a water birth, or I want to do this. And they call me and I say, oh, I'm so happy for you. A doula, we either work under an OB or under a midwife. So the pregnant mom has to have her care provider, and then we work under them. So we take care of everything that's not medicalized. So all their physical, emotional, educational needs, that's where we come in. But they do have to have a medical provider, either an OB or a midwife, taking care of their medical needs before we can step in and be hired for the family. I hope that kind of explains it a little bit, because sometimes I continue and I keep talking and everyone thinks that I'm like a midwife, or and it's not, it's very different. Okay, I'm a Bradley educator, so that's where my childbirth education is Bradley. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that specific type of education. I'm certified through DONA. I do have 4 daughters. My oldest is 13. And then I have, like I said, a new baby who's 1.5. And then let's see here. So recently, I think some of you might recognize me. I've attended the meetings for some time now, since I've been in this work. I recognize some of you. I hadn't met Jasmine, so it was lovely meeting Jasmine. I had met whoever was in charge right before you. So excited to announce that as of the end of last year, My company Green Birth, I went ahead and turned it into a nonprofit. So we're now a 501c3, and we're excited. We're excited to get some resources and help out to the community. We specialize, or our mission is to empower families through education and support to positively change health outcomes through the perinatal period. Our efforts are really to reach out to the low-income minorities, youth, and immigrant populations. So I thought that was really neat with your other presenter today, as I too come from a migrant family. And so when I first started my work, that's kind of where my heart is. I'm just getting these resources out, especially because through Green Birth, we will really also focus on getting all of our resources out in Spanish. So that's really important to us. I myself am a native speaker, and we also have some of our other members on board that are ready to start translating all of our resources over into Spanish. Let's see here. So some of the things you could see, we would love to have a wellness center, and I really wish you could see my slides so you could kind of get an idea. But with that, it would just be getting access to the community for fertility education. For those of you who are not aware of what the perinatal period is, sometimes people confuse that with prenatal, and perinatal is anything from when a family or a woman wants to conceive. So all of that fertility, and then it includes the 9 months or, almost 10 months of pregnancy. And then it also includes the 2 years postpartum. So that's the entire perinatal period. And that's where we would come in during that entire time. Fertility education, childbirth education. And we have, some great educators on board, everything from Lamaze to Bradley, hypno babies, hypno birthing, doula services. There are birth doulas and there are postpartum doulas, as well as education on that. Midwifery education, a lot of the community is not aware of what midwifery education or midwifery support is. Lactation support, attachment parenting, and that can be everything from baby-led weaning, respectful discipline. Let's see here, I had it on here for you. Attachment parenting and like the biological norms of what it is to take care of a young infant and what the norms for that is. Let's see here. Perinatal exercise, everything from yoga to movement, Pilates, weight training. We have all kinds of resources for that. Natural family wellness, that would include everything like cloth diapering, toxic-free living, ancestral wisdom or education, meaning things that maybe ancestrally back in the day they used to do that really for our low-income families is really beneficial, such as, the use of water, the use of sunlight, the use of grounding, the use of being outdoors. So just simple things that are really, studies have shown are really needed in our community for them to understand how important those things are. Postpartum support. So again, from the time the baby is born until about 2 years is what we consider postpartum support. So anything for the family that they would need during that time. Mothering and family support also is included in that. And I wish you guys could see, so I will be attaching a flyer that we'll be sending out. And that's going to be our promotional flyer that will be going out. We have plans, not sure where. So currently we're looking for a location where we could open this perinatal wellness center. So if you guys know of a location, or if you say, hey, our facility has space, or we know somewhere, please reach out. So again, it's greenbirth.org, or you could reach me. It's greenbirthdoula@yahoo. Just reach out, or if anything I mention, you think, oh, wow, that's really, we could totally collaborate, or we know somebody that would love, to help you with that. Just reach out and say, hey, I would love to do this, or I would love to help in this way, or I know somebody who can, just reach us, and, you know, together, you know, you can really help this launch. Currently, we're really looking for grant writers. We need to get our funding going. So if you know of a grant writer, or if you yourself are a grant writer, you know, reach out to us. Again, a location, and then providers. We have a long list of providers, everything from obstetricians to nurses to pediatricians, midwives, acupuncturists, therapists, pediatricians. We have, you know, a list of providers already that that have joined on board, but we would love to get more. And so, you know, please do share your resources and your list so that we can reach out and really make that connection. The whole, you know, part of the center will be where families can come in and find resources for all of these things. So the more providers that we have, the better. So if you know of any, please reach out. Again, so sorry that you guys couldn't see my my slides, but are there any questions? I know I kind of threw a lot out there, but please let me know any questions I can answer.
Thank you, Melissa, for that beautiful, even though we didn't get to visually see it, but just listening to your voice is very comforting. And then also just the information, very, very good information. And I do have a question here from Mary. She mentioned, can we email your PowerPoint out to everybody? You mentioned you had a flyer. Would you also like to include your PowerPoint or just the flyer?
You know, I think all of our information should be on the flyer. So I think, yeah, everything that we talked about will be on there. Yeah, as far as like your provider list and the funding, and yeah, all of that is on there. So I think the flyer will have everything that they need.
Good deal. And then the second question was, are the services available even though you do not have an official clinic?
Yes, some of our services are available. Currently, we are up and running, even though we don't have a location. So a lot of our providers or teachers are just working virtually. So yeah, you know, moms, you can just send them over to greenbirth.org. They can reach us, and then we'll try to get them, you know, with the service that they're looking for. And if that provider tends to have or happens to have, you know, a virtual option, or maybe they have another private office that they're doing it out of, then yeah, some of them are available.
Any more questions? You can also take yourself off mute and ask it yourself, or you can put it in the chat. But I know that me and you, Melissa, we kind of talked a little bit about hopefully this service could be free or either you know, paid through insurance in the future. Or could you kind of elaborate more on the...
Yes, this will just depend on funding. We would love to have this available at no cost to the community. So we will just depend to see what kind of grants we can get and what kind of funding we can get to have that available. If anything, it would be extremely low cost, you know, so it would be affordable for everybody. But the goal is to have all of these resources available at no cost.
I have a question. This is Lori. Excuse me. So are these classes, would anyone be able, or is there a certain group or criteria that would allow people to be able to benefit from your services?
You know, I would have to talk to the other instructors. I've always been open to letting the community in just so that we can kind of, you know, get that education out there. But I guess it would depend on our educators and our providers that we have that are coming in and how comfortable they feel. So that's a good question. You know, I hopefully we can get a solid answer once, you know, once we get those classes going and seeing what they're comfortable with. But in the past, yeah, we've always opened them up to, you know, to anybody. It didn't have to be that you were pregnant or we've opened it up to other students that have come in and, you know, needed some more education or needed some resources for, you know, in their field, whatever they were, you know, studying. So that, I guess that's to wait and see.
It would be great if you could do that, simply because you'd have more faces to interact with. And also, as you say, sometimes it's not necessarily just the pregnant and parenting people who need the information, the knowledge that, you know, just that the classes are out there and this information is available. And there's another way to look at birth other than going into the hospital and having an epidural and IVs and all that sort of stuff. And so that's something that is good information to have out there.
Yes, that's our goal, is to just get as much information out there. We know that the more education that the public has, the better choices that they'll make, and just the better off they'll be. You know, these outcomes are not great, and we know why. It's just lack of education in a lot of instances. So yeah, if we get that information out, you know, to every mom, every grandma, every aunt, every, you know, who has somebody around them that, you know, they're going to somehow impact, then that's why we've always opened it up to the entire family. But Lori, I know you mentioned you're out in Ridgecrest, and all you mentioned was private practice. I'm so sorry. What is it that you do out there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't go into a lot of detail. So I am an RN, and I was too a childbirth educator and worked at our local hospital for 20 years, resigned a year ago. So I know we have a Bradley instructor in town, but typically those classes can be quite costly. So that's why I was inquiring about your resources as well. So that's a little bit about me. I actually taught childbirth, more a Lamaze style childbirth, for 24 years. Loved it. Miss it. So
what's your private practice now?
Yes, so I am an IBCLC, and I have opened what I call Lori's Lactation Station in my community. So it's meant to be mother referred, and the hospital's making some big changes, which was part of the reason I felt it was time for me to leave. Yeah, I just felt like there was more I could do to help the women here in Ridgecrest.
Okay, yeah, thank you for explaining that. I just, you mentioned it and I thought, oh, well, we need to see what this resource is out there in Ridgecrest. We had done a lot of work out in the Ridgecrest area. No, you're out in Ridgecrest. Sorry, I was northern Bakersfield. It's McFarland. We have a lot of teen moms there that we had worked with before. And so, you know, again, it's that migrant population. And anywho, yeah, I confused the area. Sorry. You said Ridgecrest and I'm thinking Island.
Yes, that's okay. I'm out in East Kern, so I'm a good 2 hours from Bakersfield.
And Lori, could I just ask a question? This is, you know, not anything professional, but did you feel a need or a desire to leave the institutional situation that you were in because of the restraints of the institutional situation that you were in, or was it just, you know, I've done this for a while and I'd like to try something else?
No, absolutely. Thank you for asking that question. It's very painful to leave. I had always said I had the best job at the hospital. So I became their first CLC, and then I became an IBCLC, and a new manager came on and she had a very different vision. And I had pediatricians that were very supportive of me, obstetricians very supportive of me. And then a few of the pediatricians left, and a new manager came in with new ideas. The person that replaced me said, Lori, did you know she doesn't even care if people breastfeed or not? So my support there dwindled greatly, greatly. I can't even stress that enough. They used to be very proud of our rates, very supportive. And I did a podcast a couple years ago. I was able to have a breast friends support group at the hospital prior to COVID. So we did a lot of great things. But yes, management changed. COVID changed things. Our big earthquake back in July 4th, a few years back, that Ridgecrest got hit so hard with, there were multiple factors, but I really felt forced out. And the manager moved my office that was very client-centered to basically a closet. And then I was told that pediatricians had to refer. And I used to always call moms to see how they were doing at 1 week. And I was told to stop doing that. I was told not to call patients anymore. I was told not to be accessible. I had women calling, begging to see me. It just, and then the few pediatricians that were on the unit, because then they started using locums, they were not breastfeeding friendly and were even sabotaging a lot of what I was educating. So it just became a very hard, difficult climb, and I was just extremely weary, and it was changing me and not in a good way. So sorry, I probably said a little much there, but just speaking as a professional to other professionals, you know, when you have women calling you crying, desperate for your help, and management says you can't see them, it is just a very difficult thing.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking.
It really was. And there's
And
still many
I have to
days.
say that I think some of us in this call have been there and are similarly frustrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hard county to work in when you're looking at breastfeeding and natural births and
Yes.
helping moms and whatnot. It's a tough crowd, as they say.
It is. And being a small town, so some of you aren't familiar with Ridgecrest, but we have about 26,000 people. And our hospital that I've always been very proud to represent, and our hospital does great work and there's great people there. But our hospital owns everything medically in this community. So, you know, I could go back and work in a pediatrician office or do something like that. But I'm like, I had the best job. Why would I come back and do something I'm not as passionate about? So that's why I felt if I could open a business, if those doors could be open and it could be done without me destroying my husband and my retirement, I would try it. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just be a service and not make a ton of money, but still be involved and work with the people I love to work with.
We wish you the best, Lori. And I know that you and I over the years and now too have shared some of the same scenarios going on. So we wish you the best.
Oh, well, thank you. And I have oftentimes, for those of you new to this group, Janet's an oldie with me. I think we've been here since this group began, which was probably 15 or 16 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but this group has oftentimes been my only means of support. And I don't mean any disrespect in that. I'm so thankful for the support of people, members in this group.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it can be a lonely field we're in.
Yeah.
With big hearts and lonely people.
Yeah,
So,
and I think that that's the benefit of the coalition, is that it brings together people who are facing a lot of the same challenges and gives you somebody else who understands where you've been, where you're at, where you're going.
yes,
You know.
yes, and encourage you along.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
we've
know
changed
you've
a lot
done
of
that.
practices over the years
Yeah.
with that.
Yes, yes, and Laura was great, and
Yep.
Priya. I mean, there's been many through the years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Melissa, can you put me back as host, please? I think it's still left with you as host.
Okay, does that
There you go. You did it. Yep, that's great. So we the round table now. I forgot to bring my breastfeeding rates home with me. I'm at home this month instead of at work. Does anybody have any rates to give us? Who else was hospital based? Gladys, do you have any rates from Memorial?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you have any breastfeeding rates for us from Memorial?
I do not. I am not a lactation consultant.
Okay.
And none of our lactation consultants are available for the meeting right now.
Sure, that's fine. And like I say, I totally forgot to bring mine home with me. Left them on my desk. Does anybody else have anything to add to this week's meeting? Anything from your organizations? You've got a fundraiser coming up, Leslie, right? For Baby Cafe?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're talk about feeling frustrated about the community. We're kind of feeling frustrated. We have very few people who are coming apparently, or else they're waiting for the last minute to buy tickets. So truthfully, I'm kind of wondering if we will have a dinner, or we're going to have a very intimate dinner in a very large room. So anyone who would like to just, I mean, you know, Hodel's food, it's pretty good, and the money goes to a good cause. So it's next Friday, the 21st, at Hodel's. There's going to be a lot of silent auction items, and it's possible that every single person will go home with a silent auction. There's not a ton of people coming at this moment. So I'm going to be there, and I have my ticket. So anybody who, you know, would like to just get together and hang out with other breastfeeding passion people, it seems as though it's going to be a small intimate dinner. Maybe we should get candles. I don't know, but anybody who would like to come, as a matter of fact, we're looking for people. And I can put, now this will require me to show off my completely lack of skills, but I can put the Eventbrite link, I think, in the Zoom, but the Zoom, I'm sorry, I'm just minimizing Zoom so I can find it. But what you can do, I know, is because I actually didn't use the actual, I just went to Eventbrite and put Bakersfield in, and it popped right up. And so let's see. Don't miss this event. Let's see if it's in this one. Well, let's see. This just says it doesn't show me the email address. So I mean the link. Oh, you know what? Jasmine just sent it out also.
Yeah, I was thinking I saw that in my email recently.
And so if you can't find it there, because, and I apologize, you're talking to the person who is not very good. I was feeling for you, Melissa, when you couldn't get your slides, because I thought, oh man, that would be me. That would be me. But just if you just put event Bright in your browser and then just put Bakersfield, and it came right up for me, and so I didn't even go to the official ticket thing. So if
let's put it in the chat so everybody
see, there's people who aren't even.
Yeah, I was looking for it, but it didn't come up for me.
Thank you,
for some
Melissa.
reason.
Thank you. And if you felt very strongly that you didn't want to pay all of that money, we probably would accept you at a lesser amount. We could refund you at the door or something. But what we really would love to have is just people to come together and talk about, and even if it's to just sort of moan and groan about how the city that we work in is a little bit backwards. And stuff, but we really would love to. Yes, Gladys.
Anybody else got anything to add to that, or anything different going on?
I just want to say that in Baby Cafe we have 100% breastfeeding rate when they come in. That was just a joke.
That's great, sorry. Leslie.
I will mute myself now. And that's actually not true. Not every one of them is latching, but everyone's interested in breastfeeding. So it is nice to work with people who are motivated.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, doesn't it? So then if we don't have any other organizations do any other organizations have anything to add? Anything going on with you?
I can just have a reminder. We did send out the flyer. I believe Jasmine did share it with the group, but we also do have a wellness festival on April 29th from 10 to 2 in our Buck Owens Boulevard location. So here at our building, and everyone is welcome. So it is a free event and it is a wellness festival. So that's taking place April 29th from 10 to 2.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Great.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you said it out loud, because I have to say I don't remember seeing the email.
Yeah, I think it was probably early last month, I want to say. I think we were trying to get our flyer ready and everything. So yeah, I can probably share it again in the chat, and I'll see if it lets me. And if not, then I can provide it to Jasmine to share with the group as well.
I apologize. Where is this event going to take place again? Sorry about that.
At our Current Family Healthcare building. So we're right off of Buck Owens, right next to the big Bakersfield sign, right across the Crystal Palace.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anybody else got anything to add for their organization?
You know, I was just wondering, did anybody else go to the Black Maternal Health Festival? I know
I did.
Their clinical was there. Did I? I don't remember seeing you, Tiana, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in my own little bubble, kind of float around.
So yeah, I spoke to you for a little bit.
Oh, okay. I'm so glad that I focused on that. I apologize.
You're fine.
Gosh, I'm terrible. I should be shot.
To be fair, there is a lot of people probably, so.
Well, you know, I was kind of disappointed because it didn't seem as it seemed there were a lot of people from there were a lot of vendors, but it didn't seem that there were a lot of community people that came in. And they said, you know, that this was just the first one and they were going to continue to do it, which I'm so glad, because it was great. I thought, you know, they had people there, but it didn't seem as though there were a lot of community participants. What did you think, Tian?
Yeah, I would agree. Like there were a few, but not a lot.
Yeah.
But I talked with some people at She Power, and they're thinking about changing it next year from Black Maternal to just Kern County Maternal Festival to make it more inclusive for everybody. So maybe that would help with when they're doing their advertisement. People won't feel like it's just for one demographic. It'll be for everybody.
Well, and it, to be fair too, it was so cold.
Yeah.
And I truthfully didn't know it was going to be outside. And so I didn't really come super prepared for that. And it was cold. It was cold. So I could see where people might have, I tried to stand in the sun a lot because it was cold. But anyway, I thought it was great. And I'm so hoping that they're going to continue to do it.
Are you going to the dinner tomorrow that they're having?
I didn't know about it.
So I'll probably have to email it to you because I only have it via Instagram. They sent it to me via Instagram, but they're having a dinner tomorrow for physicians, OBGYNs, doulas, anybody that works with maternal health. It's going to be at El Puesto, and it is from 5:30 to 8:30. And basically Black Maternal Health and like their partner organizations are just trying to have a dinner where they talk about like ways to improve maternal health. So I'll send the flyer that I have, because it's not on my computer, it's on my phone. I'll email it, or I'll send it to Jasmine and she can send it out, but I'll try to get it to everybody so that way.
You have to register for that event or just show up?
You have to register. So you can call the Bakersfield Pregnancy Center because they're one of the main partners and hosts of the event. And their phone number is 661-326-1915. Or you can email Erin Rogers, who is the director of Bakersfield Pregnancy Center, and her email is, I'll put it in the chat. I believe it's director@wehelpyou.org. So I'll put their information so you can register. Actually, let me do that right now while we have a little bit of time. I'll send it to you guys right now. Let me save it. I'll put the email in there. wehelpyou.org. Yeah, I'll put that in there, and then it's okay. I sent it to Jasmine so she can send it out to everybody, because it's I don't think I have everybody's emails, but that way everybody can have the opportunity to try to register and go and be a part of the conversation, since everyone works with maternity in some way.
Great, thank you.
Anybody else got anything to add? No? Okay, then we'll finish just a little bit early, and we'll meet again next month. I think it's May 10th. And I may or may not be here. I got my jury duty card yesterday for May 8th. And usually that means a 3-week stay for me. So we'll see if I can get myself dismissed. Everybody promises me, go there, sit for an hour, read a book, you'll be sent home. Never, never. So we'll see what happens this time. So I will let everybody go. Your time is precious, and we will see you all next month.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Thank you too.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye.